Atsu's character design is much more memorable than the ghost armor from Jin's campaign. I think it's very unique and an excellent fit for the way she moves during gameplay. Why do I still think Jin's is better then? I'll go as far as saying his version, visually at least, is generic, but because of the story, this and all other sets become much more than cosmetics for the player. Let me start with Tsushima. During the initial invasion, all the samurai are wearing their clan's armor and symbols with the exception of Jin Sakai. He doesn't think he's worthy of wearing his father's gear for a variety of reasons. The main one we find out is that he blames himself for being too scared to act when his father needed him. Even though he was young and could have easily been killed alongside him, it is still haunting. Him not wearing it speaks a lot to his thoughts about the event and himself. Maybe he'd still have a father if he had the principles he has now. Then there's the other aspect, the way of the samurai. He's fully kitted out, not just with armor, but ornaments that lace the whole set. They look intensely formidable, but also respectable. This is most likely how the player and Jin see the role at the start of the story. It's a grand, gritting responsibility to uphold the way of the samurai to Jin. Their way seems to be strong and unbreakable. This makes it all the more astonishing that they are slaughtered so easily by the Mongol forces.
Uncle.
This leads into the second set, which is the battle damage version, that barely counts as armor. That night on the beach, it was the way of the samurai that wasn't strong enough. That was them at full strength, unable to save their people because of this rigid outlook which Jin and the others followed. The tattered pieces left on his person show this. Yuna, a dishonorable thief scavenging the corpses of her protectors, is the one who saved him. This is a small showcase of what she does throughout the entirety of the game.
You forgot what it's like to fight someone stronger than you. Sometimes when you're staring death in the face, you have to do whatever it takes to survive.
The Khan expects to fight a war against the samurai. He will anticipate our every move, unless we find new ways to surprise him.
In order to drag him away from danger, she relieves him of the samurai armor to give him medical attention. Stripping what makes him a samurai lets him live to fight for his people. Soon, she starts doing the same to his belief system, once again saving him. This is what you wear for a while in the first act. To me, it shows that it isn't just a big group of men behind him or heavy armor that makes Jin Sakai so resilient. You'll also have unlocked the Traveler's outfit once you're in the open world. There's no story significance to this, but I do enjoy it as something he can throw on when exploring. The clothes soaked in the blood of his friends probably isn't too comfortable. It's a small piece of role-playing I enjoy. At level 1, the fabric isn't in great shape, so I see it as quite fitting for a start that's all about getting back on your feet. The next armor you'll probably unlock is from Lady Masako. It's also the first piece of gear that doesn't look like it was power washed with Coca-Cola. For me, this is also important as needing others is a big theme in this game. It's how you survive. This was her own son's armor too, and it's most likely the one you'll stick with. Even though she says it's okay if Jin doesn't help, he joins her quest for vengeance anyway. Just like the other side quests, this is a parallel to how his own story may end up. The second act asks Jin to confront his past and put on his clan's armor. At this point, he's knee-deep in dishonor, and even more questions and doubts are present than at the start of the game. Does he deserve to wear it when he knows who it belongs to and what that person might think about what he's become? He wasn't exactly too honorable himself, but Jin doesn't want to become that either. At the same time, the wind which guides him to Yuna and the rest of his path towards dishonor is heavily implied to be his father. That lingering thought of his past failure is always present. To me, this is where he's most reflective about who he wants to be and the two paths he could take. It's clear he chooses survival over his standing with the people of the island. He told Shimura he was finished with the way of the ghost. Every time you get a kill or an upgrade for the ghost, Jin reassures himself it's temporary, like he's lying to himself. By the time the big battle arrives, he's the furthest away from what he was taught, and I believe having the Sakai armor be what he does it in shows us who he is much clearer thanks to that juxtaposition that armor provides.
Run, cowards!
The DLC shows the history of the armor and how for the island of Iki, the terror of the ghost isn't new. The attire isn't even in the game for long, but it had a lasting impact on me and how I see the story.
You were here
when your father massacred the village.
The final canon armor is the Ghost Armor. The man who actively discouraged the title and stories associated with the legend is gone. When he wears the suit, it isn't a transformation, rather acceptance of who he has become. Taka has been very helpful, story and gameplay wise, but his personality, which shines through the dark narrative, is what makes me appreciate him the most. He wants to be more than he is and yearns to use his talents for others. It's ironic he looks up to Jin because he already has his best attributes. This gift is a way to remember him and what led us to this point. Design-wise, it's just fine. The cape and mask are unique, and the equipment makes it look practical. If I saw it bereft of context, I wouldn't think much of it, but in-game, I love wearing it. It brings the premise of the game to the front. You don't look like a warrior at all. You're dressed like a lurker, someone who's waiting to stab their enemies in the back. All these armor sets have memories and feelings associated with their cool looks. The Ronin getup is worth a mention too, thanks to Rizzo. Back to Atsu. I still feel design-wise her fully upgraded armor is better done. The yellow always pops no matter where it is or how much blood and mud is splattered across it. The base colors complement each other nicely thanks to the deep blue next to the bright yellow. At the final phase you can see tree leaves embedded in her robes. The black provides a sharp contrast. All the fur is tying of course back to the wolf motif. The hat looks so sharp yet old, it definitely has stories to tell. The white mask is menacing and the gold fillings have significant meaning to her character. Of course, the banner is cool too. I've never seen something like it. What a unique way to send a message and to tell the audience everything we need to know. It gives players a sense of progression with its checklist-like use, and it's neat you can always tell where someone is in the story. It's always flowing to better help Atsu's movement feel smoother along with the cape. I love her balls too. I don't know what's inside him, but they are cool. I love to watch them dangle. Looking closely, they might not be balls. It's like a gourd or something. With all that said, I still prefer the cosmetics of Yotei's predecessor. I didn't feel much of an emotional connection to it beyond, wow, she looks badass, unlike Jin's wardrobe. None of what I'm about to say is that big a deal, more so it's about what we could have had that the first game already nailed. For example, the upgrades only happen at arbitrary moments in the story. Nothing tied it to her with the exception of the mask. As soon as you finish a main quest, you just have it. I'm not a fan of the mask scene despite it having a spotlight on it. Before I played the game, I learned about how the style tells us repairing what's broken shows not only that it still had value, but all those scars and cracks in its foundations made the work even better once the healing process began. It couldn't have been so interesting and beautiful without what it went through. Sucker Punch were smart, using this as a metaphor for her arc in the story. The whole fight for the living, not the dead thing, but it felt thrown in here. Same with the whole ghost premise. I didn't feel it had the same slow and careful planning it needed. She just needs a mask to cover her face at one point. She picks the one saying,
"It's broken. Someone tried to repair it. It's perfect."
She just says the thing, which is fine, I guess. I wish we learned what she specifically thought about it. Since it's half broken, does she think she can never be fully fixed? Does she think killing the Sinister Six is like the gold remaking it into something great? Or by now, due to this being far enough into her revenge quest, and she's been challenged enough, does she know it will always be broken even after someone tried fixing it? Or is it not about her and instead the whole family, or justice? I don't know, and I don't think it ever comes up again. She needs a mask and picks one she likes. That's the story. It doesn't even cover her whole face. It's the worst one to take. Now the banner. In that scene specifically, she does actually hide it before making her entrance. But who the hell is not going to think she's the Onryo? Look at her. There are so many times where people don't suspect her as the Onryo, like the Matsumai checkpoint. She literally has a list of their names, and the one that's been killed by a woman recently with swords is crossed out in blood. I wonder who this could be. Seriously, you can't have it that she doesn't care about anonymity and wants to send a message, but also people don't recognize her very unique outfit. The sash is on everything you choose to wear. People quickly spread word of the ghost as soon as she killed the snake. They are very well aware of it, as we can hear throughout the camps. Hell, even if there wasn't a bounty or the ghost legend, I'd still be suspicious of the armed woman with the hit list. My point is, while I love it for being cool, beyond that I don't have strong feelings for it, other than I like playing as her. Not entirely, I guess. The second katana makes me think of the journey of getting it and how she was trained by Hanbei for who knows how long to master it. Unlike getting the other 3 weapons, this one resonated with me. I also felt the lessons Hanbei tried to impart on us was more useful than the others. Of course there was that left-sided minigame, but things like he tells us how we can use it to be faster. Atsu, what's preventing her from cutting the coals isn't your input, it's Atsu's. She needs to recover from that first swing. But with the second hand, she can do that. So you can get in cheeky little hits during combat. So him telling us that actually did help beyond just, oh, use this weapon for this. Don't use it for this. No. It's something. The rest of the optional outfits have their pluses, such as the Ninetales outfit being based off of the original Ghost armor. Of course, this is a reference, but it does further his story. It shows that Jin's choices had an impact, both good and bad. The last game sort of hinted at it with the Wolf's Mane and the Shogun hunting him, but here, thanks to it being set hundreds of years later, we get to see that fully be put into fruition. These armors are cool, but the stories rang hollow to me, like the Undying Armor one, or the flute guy who can't stop playing the flute or something. The Spider Lily one was pretty neat, I guess, but I personally wish there was more. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.